So let's get into these spoilers because we got
Okay.
a ton of it, and just talk about soups right now. Superman spoilers in general. We're going to be discussing the movie. We both saw it. If you guys didn't check it out, please, again, come back when you have, because we don't want to ruin anything for anybody. But you've been warned. Okay, so the second it starts, like I said, I think we both enjoyed the movie. I did like a full 40-minute spoiler review on it, giving my thoughts. There was a lot that I liked. There was, and I think that there's criticisms that I've seen that I agree with 100%.
Okay.
But I think that the difference is that you either really enjoyed the tone and how you felt coming out of this, or the criticisms that you had for it just overtook it and you couldn't really get past that on a technical side. I didn't fall on that side. I felt more in I felt like a little kid watching a Saturday morning cartoon,
Right.
which is what it felt like.
Okay.
I thought Corin Sweat was excellent because they set it up. And the reason why, because I told you my issues with, I thought what we were going to have with the humor with James Gunn. And some people did have this issue that sometimes the humor kind of interrupted some really good moments. And I don't disagree with that, but I think that they set it up consistently, especially right in the beginning.
Yeah.
Right. So I liked the opening of going, hey, listen, just let you guys know the metahumans have been here forever, or they've been here for a bit. This has happened. This has happened. This has happened. A couple of years ago, this happened. This is when Superman came in. And then he lost his first fight. Boom. Here we are in that moment that we saw in the trailer. He's bleeding. He's wheezing. He's in trouble. Crypto comes in and lets you know, if you haven't seen any of the trailers, this is the tone of the movie. This is it. From that start, the rest of it is the tone of the film. I liked how they did that, because I thought that if that would have been in the middle of the movie and it wasn't consistent with it, I mean, here's a dog flopping around and doing this. I'm like, oh, because they didn't overuse Crypto. I was worried they were going to, but I don't think they overused him.
Wow.
The question I have for you, and you can talk about the tone and all that in the beginning inside of this response. And please, everybody in the comment section can answer this for me too, because I didn't understand this.
Okay.
So he hits the ground. They say he lost his first battle. He got beat up. He's wheezing. He's in bad shape. He goes to the robots. They help him out. They blast the sun on him. He goes back to fight. He essentially loses again. Right.
Right. Not that bad though.
It's not that bad, but what does he do? He just gives up. He just says, "Okay, forget it. I'm gonna go to work now." Because it was a weird cut.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. He just it's like, oh, he's fighting. He's got it. Oh, no. He didn't win this one either. And then he decided, I'm gonna leave now. I need to go to work now. I was like, wait, how did that end? Did I miss something?
No, I mean, they're looking at the front page, right? He's looking at the front page as he's talking to Lois and Jimmy about it. And of course, we find out later that Lois knows that he's Clark, so he's known that Superman's Clark. But like him looking at the speculation and all that, so clearly he did lose again. And so but then eventually, I guess the Hammer of Bravia took off, because of course we find out who the Hammer of Bravia is, which is Ultraman. And so he probably just kind of hit that point where he couldn't do it anymore, and then it was the next day. So these are the certain things that you see in the movie that make it comic booky, because that's actually what you'll get in a comic book. It's just the panel, and you're like, well, what happened? And you move on, and you realize that this is still an ever-present threat that they're going to swing back to at some point down the road in the comic book story that they're telling, or the run that they're telling. So yeah, I hear you. It was a bit of a, oh, okay, we're doing this. So clearly they knew that this was going to be a prevalent threat throughout, and they didn't want to finish off dealing with it. But showing him losing again, I don't know what you get out of that, because the whole point of the opening was to make you see how resilient he is and how determined he is to fight back, even when he's injured, to fight and protect the people of Metropolis.
Sure.
Which I think was the point.
And you have to, and I think the ultimate point there too is that Lex is monitoring the whole thing.
Yeah, right, exactly. Showing that.
Yeah, and so the stuff, again, what I want to do is the stuff I liked, some of the stuff inside of it that I didn't like. I want to try to be as balanced as possible with this thing too. Where he's looking out there and you're getting right away that this Lex is going to be a problem. He's a hateful dude, and he also is very smart. It's the Lex that we've always known. I love what they were doing, how they incorporated the technology and all that. And what we see, what drove me nuts in the trailer, and what drove me nuts at first, and I've come to maybe be on board a little bit more with it, knowing where it goes.
Okay.
It's still chaos. There's still all this stuff going on in the background that at any given moment, one of these things, Ultraman could hit you in the head with a laser, or Superman can come flying through and kill you. And here's Miss Tessmacher taking selfies out the back, like nothing really is going on. But I think it added to the tone overall, which again stayed consistent. Plus the fact we know why she was taking the selfies. We eventually
find out why.
Right. So I don't have as much of an issue with it. I think that when I was watching it at first, I'm like, this woman's an idiot, right? But then it turns out she's actually pretty smart when you look at what she's been doing and the kind of stuff that she's been digging the dirt on Lex throughout it. So
yeah,
I guess even hearing myself and talking it out with you right now, I'm realizing it was probably essential to that part of the movie, and it did stay consistent with that, Saturday morning cartoon part. I know how much you guys love trade. Well, if you didn't already, you're gonna love them even more. Cold brew now. This is what they got. For me, I love drinking cold brew. I used to rely on the old grocery store concentrate of the $6 cafe runs, and it's tough. Mostly out of what I thought it was convenient. But as you know, I found trade. I love trade. It's so easy now just to make cold brew at home. Plus, it tastes way better and it costs so much less than buying out. Trade. What's trade? You know trade, but I'll tell you again, trade is the #1 coffee destination in the U.S. for both hot and cold coffee drinkers. They've sourced the best beans from top roasters across the U.S., and now they have a special cold brew collection. You got to check it out. They've teamed up with 15 roasters to create a special cold brew bean collection. It ensures your cold brew at home tastes exactly how it should, smooth and delicious. I love it. I'm telling you, it is so much easier. It has been so convenient. I mean, how long have I been talking about trade? 2 years? And I don't talk about somebody that long and stay with them that long if I don't love them and fell in love with them. And that's what I love. Limited time, Trade is giving 50% off a month of cold brew. Did you hear that? 50% off. That's over 60 cups of cold brew for 50% off when you go to drinktrade.com/Christian. That is drinktrade.com/Christian. Get 50% off 1 month of cold brew. drinktrade.com/Christian. People keep reaching out to me and keep telling me about how much they love Turtle Beach. And I said the same thing I say every time someone says that. I say, I told you just so. It's the best. I love Turtle Beach. It just enhances your gaming experience in general. I told you guys I was playing Indiana Jones and I love the game so much. And I wonder if one of the reasons I love it so much is because of Turtle Beach and the headset that I have. It's so good. It just brings back the feeling of the old school kind of gaming. This Gen 3 Stealth 700 headset that they have, it's really like stepping into the golden age of gaming all over again. But with the catch that this time, the audio is richer. The surround sound's more immersive. The battery lasts an insane 80 hours. No more crackly mics, no more missed callouts, just pure uninterrupted gaming exactly the way you remember it, but better. It's the best. What I love about Turtle Beach is not just the headsets. They have every gaming accessory you could ever want, and they're all high quality at prices that don't break the bank. From flight racing simulators to controllers, keyboards, and mice, Turtle Beach is the ultimate gaming cheat code. So this is what you do. You head to turtlebeach.com. Use that code Christian for 10% off your entire order. 10% off your order at turtlebeach.com with that promo code Christian. You're going to purchase it. They're going to ask you, they say, hey, where'd you hear about us? You say, Christian told us about it. Please support our show. Tell them that we sent you. Get the ultimate immersive gaming experience with Turtle Beach today.
Well, and it honored what we saw in the Superman movie in 1978 with Miss Tessmacher, who was, I think, a little bit more on top of it than this.
Yes.
Or at least initially, you think.
Yeah.
But Lex is also, but the reason she ends up turning on Lex is the same reason that, to a degree, that this Tessmacher turns on Lex as well. It's that Lex dismisses her, thinks he's above her, and and that her mom is going to die, and he doesn't care because all he cares about is his money. And in this moment, in this movie, he turns on her and throws things at her. Ultraman yanks her out of a closet. So there's this thing. So was she taking the pictures because she wanted insurance or whatever, or did she discover that she was taking these pictures throughout
and realize that as she was
and
looking
realize
back?
that with Jimmy?
Right.
Yeah, right, exactly. Because she's not. She maybe radiates dumb, but clearly not dumb if she was taking these pictures and they happen to all line up to these important events that essentially ensnared Luther in a criminal investigation.
I like the homage to both having Miss Tessmacher and Otis Berg in there,
Otis was great,
which is great. So they had both of them. But I thought sometimes, like, and again, let's jump all over the place. Like when we get to like jokes, there were some jokes that I thought worked really well. There were some things that James Gunn does often, is that, okay, it's a funny joke, but does it belong there? And the one that stands out to me is, Mr. Terrific was terrific. He was one of the best. He was one of the standouts of the entire film.
Stole the movie.
Loved this scene. And the crucial part when Lois is going and saying, hey, you three idiots, I need your help. Like, we got to save this guy. He's stuck in this pocket universe where he doesn't know yet, but he's stuck in this thing. I need help. He's the only one that helps. He's the only one that has this kind of character. He does this whole thing, and he's like, "I'll help you. I know you guys are dating." That joke, hilarious, good, fun. And then let's go take my. He's like, "I'll take my car. We'll take my ship." Great. End it there. That big stupid garage scene. It was such a James Gunn joke, and it's like, "Oh, we're waiting here. We're waiting here." It's like, no, now let's just get to it. You hit those moments. Funny joke, funny joke. I care about this guy. I care about her. I'm so locked in. Staring at the thing. Oh, this is funny, isn't it? We're just waiting. It's like, don't do that. You loved that, didn't you?
No, I felt it a little bit in the moment, but by the time that joke hit, the movie had earned my goodwill. So I got what James was going for, and I didn't ding it too hard for it. But I agree with you. The thing is, I agree with you to a degree in that I think the joke could have gone quicker. And the whole slow garage, as soon as the garage was coming up slow, the fact that she waited till the thing was almost open or halfway, like it should have started a quarter into the garage door slowly opening, her going off on him about it and whatever. And so I understood why he put the joke in there. And that's James's proclivity at times to like throw these moments in so you don't get too dramatic about it. And it gave Eddie rather something more to play with. But yeah, I hear you, man. It felt like it felt like a forced joke, but I think he was doing that for the younger people. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
So I'm just letting everybody know.
Yeah.
This is going to be a spoiler-heavy discussion where we're talking about the good. Okay. No, we're going to talk about the good and things we didn't like. It's not called nitpicky. It's called here are the things that we liked. Here are the things that we didn't like.
Who's saying nitpicky? If you're saying
it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. The point is there are things that we like. There are things we didn't like. If we're just going to say, we're not going to sit here and just wait. Look at all the great stuff. Look at all the bad stuff. Don't do that. Go to another channel. I'm asking you nicely. Go away. And if you want to talk about the things that you didn't like and the things that you did like, this is the show for you. And so what we're going to do again, speaking of the stuff that I liked, Lois was great. I thought she was so good. I thought Rachel Brosnahan, perfect cast for this. Perfect cast. And so setting up, and I like the choice of having them already. Look, you get it. We know that Lois and Superman, they've been together. This is it. You know who they are. You know it enough that they have a relationship, and I bought it. Their chemistry from the second they open up and they're in the kitchen. I'm like, there you go. I'm on board. I love what they're doing there, and I liked. Some people talking about nitpicky. Some people thought that the getting upset and getting angry of Clark was too much. This is the most human we've seen him. He is, and that's the whole point of this movie is that he's trying to capture the human side and what he loves of being human in general. And by him getting upset, he's like, I love that moment when he goes, people were gonna die, and he's sitting there talking to the girl he's dating, but he's like, this is huge, and I loved that moment in general.
Yeah, I thought that interview moment worked so much better in the context of the movie than it did in the trailer, because when they took the pieces out of the trailer, it looked like he was just like this angry, emotional, aggressive dude. When you watch it in context, you see that this is part of his ethos, and he's trying to have this conversation with Lois. Plus, they're at this 3-month anniversary situation, and he's got a bit of a swagger to him. So Lois is like, well, let me, you've been kind of skating by on not getting called out on some of the things that you're doing. Let me call you out like you would normally get called out if I was to interview you, because you've been doing these puff pieces on yourself. Here's the reality. And so I like that as a element in the movie, and it exposes Lois's lack of confidence in relationships sometimes. And so I like that as a back and forth. And I agree with you. It's very human, very believable. And the way he walks out, we've all gotten in fights with a girlfriend or boyfriend and had that awkward thing where you walk out of their place quietly and they're somewhere else in the room, in the apartment quietly. And you're just like, well, I don't know what's going to happen from here. And you just kind of walk out. Right. I loved that element to it. And of course, later they apologized to each other. That was really sweet as well. So yeah, I agree.
Relationship.
Yeah, relationship. I know some people were complaining that there wasn't enough between him and Lois, and I thought there was enough between him and Lois. My only complaint with Lois was that I wanted more of her being the journalist, and I thought it was a bit of a cop-out. Although the Tessmacher thing worked, it was Jimmy Olsen who got that information and gave it to Lois. Lois wrote the article, but I wanted Lois to do more investigating and less being Superman's worried girlfriend. That's what I would have wanted.
That's fair. I loved Jimmy Olsen, though. Skyler did such a great job. So good. I liked his interpretation. I love the fact that they turned he's a ladies' man. Loved that, the way they played that. I'll tell you the other thing that I liked is that even though this is the thing that was it a little bit overstuffed, the movie, it was. But and do I think that we needed to have more development, even though it was overstuffed, with if you're going to put Hawkgirl, Mr. Terrific, and Guy. I think that I maybe develop them even more, because what I thought they did that was good is, out of the three of them, Hawkgirl was developed the least. Right?
Yes, agreed. Unfortunately,
but the reason why we like her a lot is because she's just such a good actress.
Yes.
She has, when she does, she shines on the screen. And then we've already said Mr. Terrific was the best. The way that they put him together made me more. I didn't know anything about the character. It made me way more interested in his involvement in the DCU in general. And the fact, when you guys were talking about the TV show potential, I was like, if you would have told me that before I saw the movie, I'd be like, I have no interest in that, because I don't know anything about the character. Now it's like, yeah, give me that tomorrow, because he was so good in the role. And Guy Gardner, who I was most concerned about, I was like, is he just going to be a goofy idiot the whole time? And I was told many times, well, he's a douche, but he's a douche with a big heart, and he does really care. But he's kind of a pompous ass, and it's exactly what I got. And I thought, I was never annoyed by him. I always said, he's an ass kicker. He's able to do what he's able to do. He wants the Justice Gang thing to pop. So I thought that stuff worked for me. And yes, it had a Guardians type of feel for it, but I thought it worked.
Yeah. For me, it didn't feel overstuffed, because like I brought my own knowledge and my own experience with these characters into the movie. And so I can understand if people feel this way, though. I'm not bashing anybody for feeling this way. It's just, for me, I was like, oh, got it. Okay, Metamorpho, got it. Justice Gang, got it. Yes, he's not my Guy Gardner, but he's a good Guy Gardner for this particular movie. The Hawkgirl, yes, I agree. I think it's criminal sometimes, the thing with Isabella Merced, because this is a damn good actress, and they're not giving her a chance to shine more and more. I love that she got a chance to sign Last of Us. I wanted more of that, but of course it was attached to a season which half of the people seem to have not liked. So she's not getting enough of a shine off of that. And I thought she was damn good here. And her screams when she's tossing Homie out of the fucking window was great. And then you look at Mr. Terrific, as I said, stole the movie. Can't wait to see a show if they're going to do that with him. Somebody mentioned Ryan Coogler was there at the premiere, I think, and him and James Gunn were having a conversation. I mean, if you give me a Ryan Coogler directed or executive produced Mr. Terrific series, I'm going to lose my damn mind. Right. So I love this idea of all of it. I thought it all worked. For me, I was like, okay, you're doing pocket universes. That actually worked for me. Yeah. Like the way they were casual about everything and nothing was a big deal, I think was important for me watching the movie, because they didn't make it seem like, okay, we've got to explain everything we're doing here so that you catch up. It was more like, this is what's going on. This is just part of the world. It's not that big of a deal. So
I really, speaking of that pocket universe scene, that scene worked for me, because when not only when he's there and you have Metamorpho, who eventually is going to become more of this character, and he's begrudgingly using the kryptonite to hurt Superman because he doesn't want Lex to hurt his kid. I love that. But the scene that got me, that I was surprised, because it did shift in tone a little bit, right? Where Lex brings in the dude who gives Superman food in the beginning of and they execute him. And I was like, oh, they're just going to torture him. No, they execute him. And the pain in Superman's face, and a great job by David Corenswetter, what he does there, because you felt it. And I think it really showed, again, what Superman has always been about. And that's just, I always remember Superman 2 when he's like, no, the people. It's always been about the people for him, always. And he really, it takes a piece out of his soul when he does that. And as he's laying there and finally gets Metamorpho has to come back. He's like, why do you still look gross? And he's like, I don't know. He's like, I guess you need the sun. He's able to form it. He has that moment. I thought all that stuff worked pretty well.
Yeah, the prison stuff is, pretty harrowing. I know some people were like, oh, this is a silly, goofy Superman. I'm like, did you not watch the prison scenes? Because that's pretty brutal. The fact that this guy is willing to imprison people for an eternity for writing a column about him, or being an ex-girlfriend, or probably being a business associate that he couldn't screw over or something. They're all stuck in these cages. And now he's got, or prison cells, whatever you want to say. Now he's got Metamorpho, and he's got his kid essentially right across the hall from him, so he can see his kid being held by someone else as a way of torturing him, and also a way of making him do what he wants him to do. Then, as you said, they bring him, look, I'm going to tell you this. I know some people get mad in the chat. I don't care. I didn't like the trope of using a person of color and killing them to inspire the white person to fight. I didn't like it. But in the movie, in the context and the way it was done, I was able to forgive it, because I understood what they were going for. They didn't build up the relationship enough for me to really feel the power of that death. For me, it was more about shocking nature of it all, that they went that brutal. They
Yeah.
shot it from far away, so you don't see the blood, but you see and you hear the gunshot loudly, and you see his body crumple. So they didn't cop out on
Yeah.
that, and I thought that was a really smart
So
decision by
I
James Gunn. So
I agree with that, but I'll push back a little bit. I don't think that I think that it's an actor. I don't think it's a matter of taking out the fact that it being consciously taking out a person of color there.
seeing it constantly for 40, 50 years, Christian, where they do that, it just gets a
But
little.
he was strong though, and he sat there and he's
I
like,
didn't
"Don't."
say that didn't do a
He's saying,
stereotype.
"Don't say anything." I mean, that one I'll push back on you with, because I actually think that by doing that again, showing how strong that guy and what he was saying, he's going, "Don't tell them anything." Like
Again, I'm not saying it was a stereotype that he
Yeah.
was playing a stereotype. I'm saying that decision is a cliche that we've seen in so many movies throughout.
we'll agree to disagree on that one.
All right.
All right. So, but moving on in general, what they did is setting up certain relations. I think we both can agree. I think Perry White was non-existent.
Yeah, that was frustrating because
I would
Wendell
like to see
Pierce
more.
is
He's
such
so
a good
good.
actor.
He's so
Yeah,
good. He'll come back more. They'll use him more.
If there's I said this on the review with the Geek Buddies, if there's a Daily Planet series, that's what I want. Wendell Pierce, who's been great on Elsbeth this season, the last 2 seasons, he's a damn good TV actor, The Wire. So having him be the Perry White for a Daily Planet series, I think would be a lot of fun. So I hope they bring him back to do more. That's a criticism of the film.
Yeah, I guess if they're going to do it,
all the scenes. Yeah.
I don't really think that they should do a Jimmy Olsen series or anything they were planning on. But if they do, that's where you would use Perry White. But I think Perry White will show up in other movies and other things. They did reference. There's references to other stuff happening within the DCU, and they put some stuff in there with how the Green Lantern Corps works and all that other stuff. And
there were certain Easter eggs with Justice.
There were certain Easter eggs for sure, and even like the end credit scene of what is happening there with the fact that Mr. Terrific it basically helped, and so how smart this guy is that he was able to put together this thing, and Superman just saying, well, there's still things like, oh, I'm such a jerk sometimes. That's the kind of stuff that I dug, and I like that. And what I will say, as I saw in the trailer, because I didn't know the context, as I mentioned many times over, if the context wasn't there and it just seemed like it came out of nowhere when he's exhausted, he's doing this huge fight, and he's laying there, and Mr. Terrific says, what are you doing laying around? He's like, I'm not laying around, I'm doing stuff.
Yeah.
That works so much better in the movie than it did in the trailer.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. I agree with you 100%. They made that work in the way it's supposed to work because it was in the flow of a battle.
Yeah. Again, as far as things that we liked, things that I kind of some things that I liked but didn't like at the same time.
Okay.
So I like that they have to get into the Fortress of Solitude. I like that they essentially did it through, and the reveal of how they're able to do it through Ultraman cloning him, getting in there made a lot of sense. Loved that part of it. Loved the science behind it. So Lex and his goons kind of go into the Fortress of Solitude. They get in, they wreck the robots really quick. Yeah. Now I'll be nitpicky on this all day because this is the trope that I hate.
Okay.
I said it in my spoiler review. This has nothing to do with Superman. It's every movie that does this. It drives me bananas. There's explosions and everything going by, and here's the too cool character. I don't care if it's a villain or hero, and he's just walking through as things are just flying by his head. Nothing's gonna hurt me. It's like you are one of the smartest guys in the world. Duck or wait for it all to stop and then go over. the too cool slow motion things going by the head. It took me out of it. I'm going, Lex, come on, guy. Like, you easily could get hit in the head, you're dead, and then your plan is you're not a metahuman. You're a human being. You could easily get killed. If someone else was walking by and did that, that was so stupid to me. But then to cancel the bad with the good, they get the message with Jor-El and his wife. Now the idea, I'm torn. Okay. I'm torn on the Jor-El stuff.
If it's real, right? If it's true,
I'm torn on it because if it's true, I'm torn on it because part one, the reason why I'm for it, is because it essentially says the entire theme of this film, which is Clark was raised as a human being and is taken to the human race and just wants to do good by people.
Yeah.
And initially, he thinks that that's what his parents are telling him to do.
Right.
So when he finds out that that is not what they are telling him to do, he realizes who his real parents are, and they have instilled all of the stuff that he ultimately wanted to do through them. Yeah. That message was received loud and clear, right? And it was done very well. The nostalgia part of me and the thing Jor-El, the way that he's always been played is, yes, he's been a hard ass.
Yeah.
But never been a lunatic. Hey, go bang as many chicks as you can and take over these humans. Right? That's never been a thing. Mad scientist, sure. So I am kind of hoping, even though we still got to that realization about the parents and everything too, that we find out whether it's in Supergirl or something else too, it was BS. I don't think it will be, but I like having Jor-El as, as the good pops who wanted to have his kid do right. Like, I love the interpretation by Russell Crowe.
Right.
The Marlon Brando stuff too. Like, so I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah, I thought it was I thought it was a shocking moment, but I wasn't caught up in it like other people. I saw the reviewers like, they've destroyed the lore, and it's like, how much?
I'm not there.
How much do you know about the lore to understand if they destroyed the lore? Because we've seen Jor-El be bad in different formats. Smallville, although we found out later he wasn't. Like, there's been storylines in the past, right? And for me, what I tweeted out was, look, this is the opening film in the DC universe. James Gunn is not going to wrap all the everything up in a nice bow and move on to the next movie. Right. He has to plant seeds for the things that are that he's going to pay off later on. We have a Supergirl movie coming, and I imagine that stuff is going to play into it. Is this a real video? And then you go, well, this is a guy who has an IT team that is dedicated to his every whim, picking up pens off the floor, getting punched by him, whatever, to do everything he wants them to do. So would they be involved in creating this thing? The engineer clearly is biased, as well as Superman tries to save her and redeem her in the stadium, and she refuses to do it. So is she biased? And then, which I thought was great. And then you add the fact that since this is the first movie in a universe, there's a possibility that Luthor, who is working in pocket universes, could be working with Brainiac. And so you throw that in as a possibility down the road. So if it is the thing they chose to do, I thought it was a gutsy decision. And if they stand by it, great. There'll be a lot of fun to see how they make that work. But if it was something they're going to correct later on, I thought it was a nice, shocking moment that will pay off later, because it'll show you what really happened. And what
I'm not in that camp of, oh, you ruined the lore. I'm in the camp of, like, it's disappointing, but I get it. Like, I want the message to not be true.
Right.
But if it turns out that it is, I get it. Right. Like, it's like, it's this, they don't really understand, these beings on Krypton don't really understand, like, what the human race is. That Clark had to discover it on his own and understand that they were wrong and realize, like, who his real parents were. I thought it was a really sweet moment. And speaking of lore, and I know that they've changed, and Mike has made this clear in a couple different times, that in a couple different comics, that they've had both of his parents be alive, right?
Yes.
And I think that Mike explaining that kind of cushioned the blow a little bit for me when they were indeed alive, because I said, okay, especially by the time you reveal at the end why that is, it makes sense. Because one of the reasons I always thought it was so crucial for Jonathan Kent to not make it through is because it shows Superman, I can't save everybody.
Right.
You just can't do it. And I love Man of Steel. I really do. I love the movie. It was the thing I disliked about that movie the most was the way that Pa Kent died in that movie, because it took away from the idea of what Superman was able to do and can't do at the same time. And like, I still think that the Donner version did it the best, where he holds his hand and goes, oh no, and falls on the floor. And he's like, I have all these powers. I can't do anything. I couldn't do anything. That to me was the essence of being human. That was it. You can't change. I mean, although I will say, as much as I love and am a Donner defender, although he figured out a way to fly around the planet 1,000 times and bring Lois back. So, but nonetheless,
but he was like, and the thing
is, at the time, right?
And I pushed back on the Man of Steel stuff too, because I did that, and I talked about that this weekend and did a full-throated defense of that movie, because I love that movie.
I love that movie. I
think the Jonathan Kent death absolutely works for me because of the context of how it was set up. He is fighting with his father in the car about the fact that his father wants him to take over the farming business, and Clark is being condescending to his father about being just a farmer, right? So we've seen him battle with his father about his instincts to save people. And we saw that with the bus, right? So there's the 13-year-old kid, and his father's like, I don't know, maybe. He's not saying, yes, let people die. He's just trying to figure it out himself. But he gives him the feeling, the purpose, right? But clearly Clark is at that age now. It seems to be 17, 16 when he's in the car, that he wants to kind of walk his own path. But now we get into a life and death situation. he sends his son to take care of his mom. Jonathan Kent does, and so Clark's over there under the bridge with his mom, and people are watching. Everybody is right next to him, and Jonathan Kent saves the dog, stumbles out, stops Clark from saving him, sacrifices his life so that Clark doesn't reveal himself too early to these people.
I know why they did it.
That's what I'm saying. It worked.
I know why they did it. I just didn't.
I cry every time when I watch that.
It's fair. It's also because it's a great performance by Kevin Costner.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. But getting back into Superman itself, and then what we'll do is we'll get any questions that anybody has. Any spoilers, it'll be open. And right now, again, we have 56 questions before we even started. So you guys, I would say any questions today that you have, throw in anything that we missed spoiler wise, throw them in there so we can, if you want us to cover anything that we might have not discussed, because I'm trying to figure, the Ultraman stuff and how that I got serious Winter Soldier vibes though from, didn't you?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And it was predictable. As soon as they opened the Fortress of Solitude, I was like, clone. Okay, let's see where this goes. And the fact that he doesn't die, you don't see him die, he's definitely going to come back. Zorro,
it makes sense. That makes sense that they're going to do that. I think there's a couple good setups throughout the whole entire thing. I think that's the majority of the stuff
that I
can think of. But again, if people have other things they want to discuss, let us know in the comments.